Welcome! Tonight on Monsterflix we have a very special guest. A filmmaker who needs no introduction into the horror world. 2 decades ago he brought zombies from video games straight to the big screen with House of Dead. Now, 23 years later, he's returning to the island where it all began with his brand new film 23 years later, Return to Zombie Island. So, please welcome the one and only Uwe Boll. So Uwe, when you hear the title House of Dead, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Yeah, the original House of the Dead I know from the arcade games as a game, and then Mindfire Entertainment 2002, 2003 approached me with the script, with the rights. So I felt, why not doing a zombie movie? I was a big zombie fan. So that is how the original House of the Dead came to fruition.
Looking back now after 23 years, how do you personally feel about that film today?
No, I like the film. It turned into a cult classic in a way. People love it because it was campy, it was gory, it was sexy. It was a real student Halloween kind of having a great time movie. And it's still like this. People still watch it. I just went into Hamburg to a screening where 200 people paid a ticket to watch it again. And I think that was one of the points for me also to reevaluate. Maybe we should do something again with House of the Dead.
Many fans say that House of Dead has become a cult classic, a snapshot of early 2000s horror and video game energy. Did you ever imagine it would have this legacy?
I think House of the Dead, when it got like trashed by the reviewers, but kind of loved by the fans, that was the fate of the movie, right? So for me, it was the first video game-based movie I did. And then I got like, that's the guy who's doing all the video game-based movies. And they attacked me for Alone in the Dark, Blood Rain, Far Cry, Dungeon Siege, Postal. Whatever I did, they attacked me. So, but House of the Dead was what I liked. Overdrive, super fast, super action in gore effects. We really went for it. And I think all the actors had a lot of fun doing it too. It was kind of mayhem. One day we had on the call sheet even like no scenes anymore. And it was just written, the chaos continues. So that was the call sheet for 2 or 3 days for the big battle in front of the house, where we used the matrix setup, turntables, all the effects who were available at that time.
How was it filming a zombie action film back then, without today's CGI, social media buzz or viral trends?
No, we used CGI on House of the Dead. CGI was was existing at that time, but we did mostly practical effects with pyrotechnic, of course, explosions. We did a lot of prosthetics, blood effects, like the old George R. Romero style, or Evil Dead and stuff like this. So, of course, in today's time, you can make a lot of zombie extras in the background, all in the computer, all this stuff like the crowd dopes. They were not doable at that time. So that's the reason we went more for practical effects. Even the matrix setup was 320 still cameras. So it was kind of a practical effect you put together in post-production, and it was not real poor CGI.
Let's talk about your new film. The title alone gives me chills. Why return to this world after so many years?
It's very simple. Paul Anderson is doing a new House of the Dead movie that was released. Then I immediately recognized that everybody wrote about my movie again. Everybody was interested in my movie again based on that new big movie, what they will do. And I think the Anderson movie will be, of course, again with Mila Jovovich, of course, again.
Can you tease what the story will be about without giving too much away?
I mean, it's obvious that most of the people who are coming back now are dead. So they have to come back as zombies. But the survivor, Jonathan Sherry, he survived and he has a new family. And the island from the old days is, of course, like locked off, like military zone property now. And people still make mistakes and want to go partying on the island.
How much will the new film connect to the House of Dead game universe, if at all?
No, we cannot do this because we're not connected to the new House of the Dead games or to the rights for House of the Dead. So our film is connected to our original film. And as you all know, and everybody flipped out on it, was our original film was not really strongly connected to the video game. So that's a good thing now because we are free to do whatever we want and we can bring all that characters back without a problem.
What was the first action from your longtime fans when you announced the return?
I mean, we put that crowdfunding up, we put like press releases up in a way, and everybody, including yourself now, wants to talk about it. So I think the press will grow, the interest will grow as more we get progress in getting a movie together, basically. And I'm very happy about that. So I think it's a good thing to come back after this 23 years. And of course, making fun out of 28 years later, 28 days later with the title too, right? So I have a blast doing it.
What is it like being on the set after all these years? Has your directing style changed?
The directing changed in a way that we shoot digital, of course. We shoot with Alexa large format. And it's way easier now because at nighttime, when I recently watched House of the Dead again, you see all these big lights, what the moonlight is, of course, but they were all like cranes with big lights on. All that stuff now in the digital producing world, you don't need anymore. So you have also more possibilities with computer effects, even like painting out some stuff, cables or whatever, right? So even if we don't want to use a lot of computer effects for our new movie. So, but it is definitely from the tech point way easier to shoot a movie what looks great with way less light, way less grip and electricians and so on, like a smaller crew. That's good. And that makes me happy because we can move faster. I like with all the movies, you know, for me, Rampage, Darfur, Stoic, whatever I shot, I mostly shoot now two people, two camera guys, rolling the whole time, shooting a lot of material, mostly with a gimbal or handheld or Steadicam. So tracks, dolly tracks, all that stuff doesn't exist anymore.
How does the production scale compare? Bigger budget, smaller crew, or more intimate storytelling?
No, we want the same amount of action, the same amount of blood and enjoyment. So it will be a little cheaper to produce because I said we need smaller crew, we can shoot faster. So the budget can be a little lower, but the quality is supposed to be exactly the same.
Where are you shooting this time? Germany, Canada, or somewhere new?
No, I think the idea is to shoot exactly there where we shot the first one. That we go the same forest, the same island, the same ocean, you know, that it's a directly connection to this.
Sound and atmosphere were a huge part of the last film. What can we expect from the soundtrack this time?
I mean, we had the Snap, for example, we had some famous rap sings. Biff Naked or whatever is even playing in the movie at the rave. And yeah, we will check out what kind of music we get. The good thing is the music industry is in a big shape. And so that's the good thing. I think we can get a lot of music or maybe even guest stars very cheap for the film.
Horror today is everywhere. Streaming, indie festivals, YouTube. How do you see the genre evolving?
I mean, horror is for profit margins the biggest thing in Hollywood, you know, because nothing you can shoot cheaper as horror and it still can make hundreds of millions of box office. Look at Sinners, for example, recently, Weapons, and of course also all the Blumhouse stuff, and Conjuring, the new one, you know, and Halloween, and whatever. So, of course, horror has the most hardcore fans. Video games have the most hardcore fans where they go to conventions, they go to like this kind of, and in the internet, they watching interviews like this here right now. There is no real drama fans, you know, you don't have a convention for dramas or something. It doesn't exist. So horror, video games, whatever has the most, and science fiction, of course, the most like fan base worldwide. And I think that genres will be still there and they're still interesting for a theatrical audience and interesting also for DVD Blu-ray collectors. So I'm optimistic about that genre.
Many indie filmmakers are building fan bases through online communities. Do you think this democratizes cinema or makes it harder to stand out?
Both, right? So now we have millions and millions of YouTube videos every week coming up, and people do CGI, they do AI, special effects, little horror movies, short movies, and of course, young filmmakers. For them, the easiest way to get a name is to do a 5 to 10 minutes like horror movie, right? To make it interesting, creepy, and say that's my business card. So hire me in Hollywood. So I think the democracy in the internet is huge, and of course competition is huge at the same time. The good thing is you can, if you are able to make movies for almost no money, whatever, you can create your own audience and fan groups, and you make money on advertising, playing it on YouTube up and down, So if you have 100 million views on YouTube, you don't need any film distribution anymore. You are famous and you made a shitload of money.
Fans still talk about House of Dead. Now they want to support Return to Zombie Island. How can they make this film happen?
Yeah, so we do hopefully Indiegogo crowdfunding soon. It's coming up. So check this out. At the same time, you can go on www.bollfilms.com, and there you click on 23 years later, and boom, you're on the site where you can buy perks directly. You can be even a zombie. You send us your photo. We do like an AI transformation of you into a zombie, and we cut you into the film, and we'll play out that film only for you. So you get a copy of your film where you are in with a zombie. So there are great perks. They're also not too expensive. And of course, like media book, whatever, with my commentary, signed photos, who you only have. We can name you in the end credits. So bollfilms.com is the way to go, and then click on 23 years later and buy something, get a perk, and support us.
Where can people follow updates and behind the scenes progress?
I mean, on bollfilms.com. We will do also press releases. We will also, if the Indiegogo campaign is up soon, we will of course bring their new infos up, who's casted, whatever. And you will see soon also a lot of videos from our cast. They made supporting videos, and soon we will start posting them everywhere. Follow me on Instagram, Uwe /Boll Films on Instagram, Overbold7 on X, and Facebook, my YouTube channel. So Uwe Boll Raw, our podcast with Gary Otto. Just follow all of this, and we will keep you informed.
Now, an important one. What's your personal message to horror fans who've stuck with you all these years?
No, thanks for the support, because besides, when you really look into the votings, right, it comes more and more clear that Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb is kind of rigged, So on Amazon, most of my films have 4.2 points, 4 points, 4.1. So it looks like they were better as the real reviewers or newspaper people wanted them to be. So the fans like the movies, they support it, they're still watching them on Prime, they're watching them on other streamers. And that makes me very happy that I'm still relevant, and with the movies of the last years I did with First Shift, what we did now, First Shift 2 and 3, what hopefully Paramount Plus is buying, that cop movie from New York. Then we have Citizen Vigilante with Armie Hammer, very hard equalizer kind of movie with Armie Hammer. And then we have Run, what is right now on Amazon, Apple, Google Play, with Amanda Plummer from Pulp Fiction, James Russo from Carlitos Way, from Once Upon a Time in America, Marcus Henderson from Get Out and Django, Sammy Shaik from American Sniper and my Darfur film, Mohamed Quizzi from all the Kickboxer films, Ulrich Thompson from Fasten and Banshee, and now also in another Marvel show. He is in Daniel Soli from The Deuce. We have so much good cast. Daniela Paperno from Ferrari in Run. And I only tell you right now, watch it right now. Go on Amazon, watch Run. It's out right now.
And finally, describe 23 years later in one single sentence.
Let's kick some ass.
Also, favorite horror movie of all time?
The Shining.
What's the scariest movie moment you've ever seen?
It's not a bad one. The scariest movie I ever saw. In the end of the Body Snatchers, when they're walking up to Donald Sutherland, and you think he's still normal, but then he's like, ah! That he turned into this zombie kind of guy. That was a crazy moment. And another thing, the one in Venice with Donald Sutherland too, and where he went on a church tower in the end. In Germany, it was Wenn die Gondeln Trauer tragen. So he went on a church tower, and he's there, and he thinks the whole time, did I only think about somebody is chasing me or trying to kill me or whatever? And then he turns around, there's a little guy, it's a little dwarf, and he stabs him in the heart, and he's dead. That was a shocking moment, right? That was very, very brutal and very hard. Now comes the dog.
Now, out of curiosity, if you had to survive a zombie apocalypse, which character from your films would you want to be?
From House of the Dead. I mean, of course, I want to be Jonathan Sherry because he survived, right? So I want to be definitely a survivor. I don't want to turn into a zombie.
And your weapon of choice during a zombie attack?
A machine gun with unlimited bullets.
And finally, describe Monsterflix in 3 words.
That's the best thing whatever happened. Thank you so much for having me here. And I think you're doing a big favor to the horror fans worldwide.
Uwe, thank you so much for joining us here on Monsterflix. 23 years later, Return to Zombie Island marks not just a sequel, but a resurrection of cult horror, of passion, and of the fans who keep this genre alive. To everyone watching, follow the project, support the campaign, and keep horror breathing. Stay dark and stay tuned to Monsterflix.